Part 21. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at Westlake. Chapter 201. Aha. 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 Fujitora slashed the air in front of him with his sword, and a purple circle of light rose into the sky, instantly piercing the clouds and shooting out into the sky. Seeing this scene, the surrounding Navy soldiers fled one after another. They knew that General Fujitora had taken action, and this was his specialty. The Navy has long known the power of this move. Call. 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 There was a rapid sound of breaking wind in the sky. Tetsuro looked up at the sky and saw a red dot appearing in the clouds. The red dot grew rapidly, and he finally saw its true appearance. It was a huge meteorite burning with flames, with a diameter of more than 300 meters. Normally summoning meteorites, Fujitora would not summon such a big one. But this time it was to deal with the Netherworld pirates, so Fujitora didn't test it and went all out. Facing the meteorite falling from the sky, Tetsuro did not dodge, but laughed excitedly. That's it, that's it. Only in this way is it exciting enough and worthy of being a naval admiral. Gold industry is on fire. Tetsuro controlled the golden giant and punched the meteorite. A shockwave erupted, and the thermal radiation generated by the explosion caused a catastrophic disaster. The huge meteorite shattered inch by inch and exploded in front of countless horrified eyes. Golden divine fire. Gold industry is on fire. Destroying the meteorite, Tetsuro kills General Fujitora. The laser and Karma's giant fist are intertwined. Each attack will cause huge damage. Fujitora controls the boulder to fly in the sky. His movements are very flexible, and he dodged the attacks one by one. At the same time, he launched a counter-attack and attacked the golden giant. However, the golden giant was too big and had too strong defense. Even if it withstood Fujitora's attack head-on, Tetsuro did not suffer much damage. For a moment, the battle with Fujitora was stalemate and reached a stalemate. As a result, all three naval admirals were intercepted and could not get closer to Lucifer. Many vice admirals and rear admirals also rushed into the battlefield, fighting with the Netherworld pirates and Whitebeard. The pirates of the pirate group are fighting. With the addition of the Navy, the pressure on the Whitebeard pirates has been greatly reduced, but the danger has also increased dramatically. After all, the Navy is not here to help them. On this battlefield, there are no friends, and all three parties are enemies. Another on the side, the Shishibukai Hawkeye finally took action. He took a step forward and suddenly pulled out the Black Sword from behind. Black Sword Knight, one of the 12 skills of the Supreme Quick Sword, is currently the only sharp sword Black Sword. The world's #1 a famous sword worthy of a great swordsman. Seeing Hawkeye in action, both pirates and marines looked sideways. Compared to the Shishibukai, Hawkeye's name as the world's #1 great swordsman is even more resounding. He is the strongest King Shishibukai, and his record is brilliant. He once fought against the red-haired man who lost his arm, and there was no winner. Kang. I saw Hawkeye slashing with his sword. It was obviously just a casual swing, but it was a split. A giant flying slash was launched. The slash emitted a dazzling cold light, causing countless people on the battlefield to involuntarily close their eyes. Run away. Hawkeye's slash is coming. He's going to be chopped down. Dead. Run away. The Navy and pirates fled in the direction of the slash. This is the world's #1 slash. Even if it is just a little bit scratched by the aftermath, you may be torn into pieces and die. The slash breaks through the air and attacks at an extremely fast speed, instantly leap thousands of meters, run through the entire battlefield, and strike at Lucifer. Come directly to me. Lucifer thought that Hawkeye would choose Whitebeard as his target. Unexpectedly, he chose himself. The Red Earl took a step forward and was about to draw his sword, but was stopped by Lucifer. "Don't worry, you don't need to take action yet." As soon as he finished speaking, a black shadow appeared in front of Lucifer, just at the place where the slash must pass. Clang! A blood moon suddenly bloomed, followed by an extremely fishy bloody smell. Blood moon, the slash and the eagle eye slash collided, and they both exploded, turning into countless small sword energy flying in all directions. The black shadow looked up, revealing a face with a sinister smile and a cigar biting. It was Shiryu of the Rain. Although he had eaten blood fruit, but Shiryu of Rain is still a great swordsman. As long as he is a swordsman, no one wants to fight Hawkeye. Bang! 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 Shiryu walks through the air, carrying a blood-red aura, and rushes to Eagle Eye. "If you want to take action against the captain, you must first pass my level." The knife fell, slashing out 100 meters of sword energy. Hawkeye's sword was in front, blocking the sword energy, and then slashed horizontally. Rounds of black sword light roared out, like waves of tsunami waves. The sword energy was wherever they passed, no matter they were sailors or pirates, they all felt their scalps numb. Many people were sweating coldly and involuntarily touched their Tianling caps to see if their heads were still on their necks. Boom! A loud noise came from a distance. When the news came, everyone looked up and found that a large mountain in the distance had been cut in half. Half of the mountain rose into the sky, and the cut surface was as smooth as a mirror. This is the strength of the world's #1 great swordsman. Countless people were stunned and their faces were dull. They finally understood what the world's greatest swordsman was. He could chop off a mountain with just a swing of his sword. So strong, he truly lives up to his reputation. Seeing this, Yu's fighting spirit became even higher, and the murderous aura in his body burst out, which was frightening. Then, two top swordsmen fought fiercely. The swords were shining, and the sword energy was flying. The speed of the two swords, they were all very fast, and in just a blink of an eye, they had already slashed dozens of times. With the two people as the center of the circle, there was no safe area within 1,000 meters. Sword energy flew out one after another, tearing the earth apart and smashing the huge rocky mountain peaks. If you are not careful, you may be cut into pieces and die. Lucifer looked at the battle in the distance and smiled playfully. It seems that Shiryu is having a good time, at least Hawkeye will not hinder us. Red Earl Rider said this young man is very powerful and deserves to be named the world's #1 swordsman. Red Earl Rider himself is a peak swordsman. In the old days, there were very few people who could match his swordsmanship. Even by his standards, he was impeccable against Hawkeye. Hawkeye was blocked by Shiryu, and on the other side, the two women have also fought together. Swanyu hunter Katrin Daime has found the pirate Empress Boya Hancock. Perhaps it is because women are born to dislike each other. When the two met, they became angry. "It's big. I heard that you are the most beautiful woman in the world, but in my opinion you are not that good," Katrin said with a smile. "Humph, you rude person is too presumptuous in front of me." Empress Hancock raised her finger and pointed at Katrin, raised her head and yelled. Her habit is to look down at others, but when she looks down too much, she turns to looking up. There is only one empress in the entire One Piece world who has this skill. Sweet and sweet. The empress made a love gesture with her hands, and released a love-shaped light from it, hitting Katrin. But the expected petrification did not appear. Katrin still smiled coldly after being hit. "Impossible, there are people in this world who are not tempted by my charm." The empress was hit hard. She felt pain in her heart and difficulty breathing for a moment. He. Katrin smiled coldly and said, "I see, is it the ability to charm? It seems that your abilities and mine are really not matched." While speaking, 9 tails grew out of Katrin's back. As the tails swayed, bursts of pink light emitted, and a strange fragrance filled the surrounding space. Inhaling the fragrance, Everyone around, whether they were navy or pirates, all their faces were red and their eyes were blurry. Some people showed extremely lewd smiles, with saliva still on the corners of their mouths. Some people danced and grabbed the people around them, as if they had seen a peerless beauty. Even women were charmed and could not control themselves. Katrin is a user of the animal type, phantom beast species, dog fruit, and nine-tailed fox form. She can also use charm skills. With this ability, all charm attacks are ineffective against her. But at the same time, her charm skills the attack was also ineffective against Empress Hancock. Inhaling the charming fragrance, Hancock remained awake without any change. The Empress finally knew why Katrin said their abilities did not match. The two are users of the same type of fruit ability. And they are all women, born to be opposites. Humph, don't compare me to a woman like you. Even if I don't have fruit power, I am still the most beautiful. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at Westlake. Chapter 202. No matter what wrong you do, you will be forgiven. Because, I am so beautiful, the devil fruit is just a decoration. Empress Hancock propped her chin up with the back of her hand and said arrogantly. Katrin's face was expressionless. She looked at the Empress in front of her as if she was looking at a fool. Is this woman sick? Is she actually so narcissistic? Carter's face was expressionless. Lynn has never seen a woman describe herself like this, and today the Empress opened her eyes. Fragrant feet. While Katrin was dazed, the Empress had already launched a fierce attack. Her slender white thighs had already kicked towards Katrin. Katrin turned aside, dodged the kick, and threw out a backhand punch, but the Empress dodged it. Then, the two people began to fight hand to hand. Even though they were two women, their fists and kicks were frighteningly powerful. Anything kicked by the Empress, whether it was a person or an object, would turn into stone. Katrin's strength was also the same, it should not be underestimated. For a moment, the two were locked in a fight, and it was difficult to tell the winner. Lucifer's eyes swept across the battlefield, and his domineering aura enveloped the entire desert island, locking everyone's breath. Even if there were 200,000 soldiers from the navy, with the elite joining, the nether pirates were not left behind for a while. However, the navy's large number was ultimately a problem. Baby 5. Here I am, Captain Lucifer. Baby 5 heard Lucifer's call and immediately eliminated several marines in front of him, jumped up and landed in front of Lucifer. Please give me your order, Lord Lucifer. Lucifer smiled coldly. Let them see the true power of the Pluto cannon. Yes. Baby 5 bent his upper body, and his body deformed and then turned into a huge cannon barrel. The periphery of the cannon barrel shone with metallic light, and circles of metal rotated rapidly and began to accumulate energy. Phew! The blue laser shot out instantly and hit the naval position instantly. There was a bang. A loud noise and boundless shockwave erupted, and the dazzling light directly blinded the eyes of thousands of people. The navy at the center of the explosion was evaporated into gas before it could even react. The shockwave raged past, and each navy his whole body was directly shattered, and then turned into flying ashes and disappeared. Boom! A huge mushroom cloud appeared on the battlefield, and the flames soared into the sky thousands of meters high. The flames spread, burning more navy to ashes. The battlefield fell into deathly silence. At this moment, all the people fighting stopped and stared blankly at the mushroom cloud in the distance. More than 200,000 people were panicking, their whole bodies were chilling, and the cold air ran from their heels to the back of their heads. What is this? Are you kidding me? Such an attack? Is it a natural disaster? It wasn't Lucifer who took action, it was the battle-maid Baby 5. Just a maid, with such power, how terrifying Lucifer must be. More than 100,000 people were frightened by Baby 5's cannon. How many people put down their weapons? Even Whitebeard was a little shocked at this moment. Such a move can even pose a big threat to him. What? The Vice Admiral of the Navy, the elite Vice Admiral, will be wiped out with one shot. Among the Whitebeard pirates, there are only a few who can survive this attack. Boom! The shock waves are continuous, setting off a howling wind that sweeps across the entire desert island. The sea outside the island roared, and the waves roared, forming a tsunami that hit all directions. When the shock wave disappeared, the aftermath subsided slightly. Everyone saw that a huge pit appeared on the desert island. The pit was bottomless, and the rocks had been completely destroyed. It melted into magma, and there was also a dense layer of crystals. It was glass, the product of melted rock. There was no corpse left in the center of the explosion, everything had turned into gas. Many senior naval officials had eyes wide open, especially Marshal Sengoku, whose eyes had already blood red. A rough calculation showed that at least more than 30,000 sailors died in the blow just now. This is really terrible. A few drops of cold sweat ran down Kizaru's face. At this moment, he was not speaking his words, but speaking from his feelings. Seeing the power of this cannon, he did feel a bit of fear. His shining fruit is extremely powerful, the destructive power of laser rays is powerful, but compared with this blow, it is far less. Yeah, ha 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 ha, of course. Baby 5 is the core cotter of our netherworld pirates. Without such strength, how can one become a core cotter? Eniro floated in front of Kizaru and laughed wildly. Fighting alone, Baby 5 is indeed a little weaker than people like Eniro, Shiryu, and Vabel, but the overall combat power and destructive power are actually almost the same. As long as there is with this move of Pluto Cannon, Baby 5 is the #1 firepower of the netherworld pirates. On the other side, General Aokiji, who was blocked by Pizarro, also had his pupils constricted and was dumbfounded. Even he had no time to stop the laser just fired. Even if you want to block it, you may not be able to. The ultra-high temperature of the Pluto cannon can evaporate the rocky human body in an instant. His ice cannot be blocked. If you try to block it with force, if you are hit by the Pluto cannon, it will directly hurt the body. Cast Pluto cannon, Baby 5 cannot surround the armed Haki. But the ultra-high temperature of the Pluto cannon itself can damage Aokiji's body. With this move, Baby 5 is enough to make the Admiral helpless. Admiral Fujitora, who fought against the Golden Emperor, he couldn't see the situation on the battlefield, but with his knowledge, he could sense the sadness, fear, and despair emanating from the naval position. Combined with the explosions he heard, he had already deduced the situation on the battlefield. It is truly unforgivable for the netherworld pirates to commit such a massacre. Fujitora's face was ferocious, veins popped out on his neck, and he was already in a state of rage. Huh, what does this mean? It's too early to get angry. The Golden Emperor's voice boomed in Fujitora's ears, none of the navy who came here today can leave. Then, the Golden Emperor launched a fierce attack and fought fiercely with Fujitora. On a huge rock, Marshal Sengoku stared at Lucifer and Baby 5 from a distance, gnashing his teeth. He was so angry that his body was shaking. Road, West, Law. Infinite murderous intent erupted from the Warring States period, forming an absolute murderous realm. Everyone obeys the order and attacks with all strength to eliminate Lucifer. Warring States issued an order, and the voice spread throughout the desert island. At the same time, Warring States also activated the fruit ability. His size increased rapidly, emitted golden light, and instantly turned into a huge golden Buddha dozens of meters high. Animal system phantom beast type human fruit Buddha form. Sengoku has not taken action for decades, and this is the first time for many navy to see Sengoku use his ability. Baby 5's attack just now greatly damaged the morale of the navy. At this time, he wanted to revive morale. The marshal must take action himself. Oh! Did you come up in person? Lucifer smiled playfully. Baby 5, give him another shot. After the words fell, Baby 5, who turned into a cannon barrel, fired another Pluto cannon. The blue laser ray penetrated the battlefield and shot towards the naval position. Seeing this, warring states jumped in front of the shooter, and blasted out with a palm. Bang! The sound of the metal strike of the golden Buddha spread in all directions, and a powerful and terrifying shockwave erupted, scattering the blue laser rays. Countless small laser rays exploded and shot in all directions. The Pluto cannon is not so easy to block, even if the warring states period can use shock waves to disperse the rays, and the tiny rays are also hit by the waves. Just like Kizaru's flash ray, his rays also have this effect. Boom! 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 Hundreds of explosions continued, and the position was bombed again. Countless sailors screamed in misery and fled in fear. Although the casualties were not as good as the first time, more than 3,000 sailors still died in the aftermath of the ray. Baby 5 regained his physical form, gasping for air, his face was pale, and he was covered in cold sweat. How about it? Can you still hold on? Lucifer looked at Baby 5. Okay, no problem. But the Pluto cannon can only be used once. Baby 5 is just a woman after all, and her physique is not extraordinary. Even if she trains again, her physique cannot be called a monster. Although the power of the Pluto cannon is terrifying, her physical strength is her only flaw. Today's Baby 5, the highest the power Pluto cannon can only be used 3 times. After 3 times, Baby 5 will fall into a weak state and its combat power will be reduced. The war is not over yet, and Lucifer will certainly not let Baby 5 fall into a situation where it cannot protect itself. So it can only be used twice. The Pluto cannon is enough. The last time, it is most suitable to use it at the end of the war. The Pluto cannon hit the front, and Marshal Sengoku felt uncomfortable. He was directly knocked away hundreds of meters. The huge golden Buddha body fell from the sky and hit the ground heavily, smashing a rocky mountain into pieces. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, drunk in March at Westlake. Chapter 203. Dad, that woman's attack is difficult to deal with. On the other side, Marco flew to Whitebeard's side. He looked at Lucifer in the distance with a solemn expression. Ah, it's difficult to deal with, but depending on the situation, she won't be able to use it for a while. The power of the Pluto cannon is so terrifying that it can directly kill more than 30,000 sailors with one cannon. If it fires a cannon at the Whitebeard pirates, all the Whitebeard pirates will die, and the war will be over. Whitebeard at this moment, they were still a little frightened. After all, it was the Navy that shared the pressure for them. If the Navy had not intervened, Lucifer would have used this trick on the Whitebeard pirates. With one shot, the Whitebeard pirates would be gone. The Nether pirates are fighting on 2 fronts, but so far they are still not losing, which is a bit difficult to handle. Whitebeard has been paying attention to the battle situation and knows the current battlefield situation. Even when facing the Whitebeard pirates and the Navy headquarters, the Netherworld pirates still did not show fatigue. On the contrary, after the attack just now, they became more and more courageous as they fought. Marco, tell them to go down and let them roam around the outside. Don't rush too far ahead. At the same time, keep fighting with the Netherworld pirates and don't let the battlefield get divided. Yes, Dad. Marco fluttered his wings and went down to convey Whitebeard's order. Whitebeard held the cloud cutter in his hand and remained motionless. Although he didn't exactly take action, he had been building momentum. When the time came, it was time for him to take action. On the other side, Sengoku rushed out of the ruins and attacked the Netherworld pirates again. The giant Buddha's shockwave erupted, killing a bloody path. The old guy is very arrogant. Lucifer's eyes narrowed slightly, flashing a cold light. Lucifer's domineering aura enveloped the entire desert island. While paying attention to the battlefield, he was also looking for some hidden mice. He has not forgotten that there is a general inside the world government. A level 1 space system fruit ability user. None of the CP agents currently appearing on the battlefield are very strong, and the strongest ones are comparable to Navy elite lieutenant generals. The mysterious space system ability user has still been hidden and has not appeared. Lucifer, you have exposed your flaws. Suddenly, a roar exploded in Lucifer's ears. I saw an orc with a height of more than 6 meters suddenly jumped up and came from Lucifer's left side. He had the head of a rhinoceros, a single horn that was very sharp, and a mouth full of ruthless teeth. Holding a giant axe, he chopped at Lucifer's head. Lucifer was the focus of the battlefield, with hundreds of thousands of eyes on the battlefield focusing on him. Someone attacked Lucifer, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Who is that person? How dare you take action against Lucifer? What a courage! Never heard of him. All the members of the Whitebeard pirates are speculating on this person's identity. Judging from his appearance, he is not a member of the Whitebeard pirates, nor is he a member of the Navy. Then there is only one possibility. He is one of the 7 warlords under the king. I remembered, he is Kwangzi, one of the newly appointed Shishibukai. A pirate was about to shout, but he heard everyone on the battlefield exclaiming at the same time. Facing the rhino man who was coming to kill, Lucifer did not dodge. He raised his hand to grab it, and he took the lead and caught the rhino man's neck. Bang! As Lucifer exerted force on his palm, the rhinoceros exploded and turned into flying flesh and blood all over the sky. Ding! The host killed the pirate Lilias and obtained 45,000 killing points. Lucifer's face was expressionless, as if he had crushed an ant to death. After killing the person, Lucifer also recovered his devil fruit. Animal type, ancient species, oxen fruit, and angry rhinoceros form, which is a good ability. The hundreds of thousands of people on the battlefield gasped. The vice-admirals, captains of the Shishibukai and Whitebeard pirates were all stunned, with their mouths twitching. They were speechless and didn't know how to express their feelings at this moment. Thoughts? A Shishibukai was killed by Lucifer so lightly. Killing him was no more difficult than killing an ant. Even the Shishibukai were killed lightly, let alone them. MMP, that idiot Lilias. Sengoku in the distance cursed in his heart and turned pale. He summoned the Shishibukai to deal with the cotters of the Netherworld pirates, not to let him die. He actually stupidly took the initiative to find Lucifer. If Lucifer is so easy to kill, the Navy why bother to mobilize troops like this? After this incident, several other Shishibukai also stopped their activities. The strongest Lucifer was simply not something they could deal with. Lucifer looked at the warring states in the distance and smiled coldly. Marshal of the warring states period, is this your tactic of letting an ant provoke me? If you want to kill me, why not try it yourself? Just come, I'm afraid you won't succeed. The giant Buddha jumped up, came to the top of Lucifer's head, and landed directly with the palm. Boom! A powerful shockwave roared out and hit Lucifer instantly. However, Lucifer was unscathed after being attacked. Not only that, even there was no damage to the rocky ground around Lucifer. Everyone saw that Lucifer also raised his palm, and there was an invisible force in his palm, which blocked all the shock waves. Admiral of the Navy Sengoku, one of the 2 naval headquarters, one of the legendary naval soldiers. Garp has been killed by me. How many moves can you block from me? As soon as the words fell, Lucifer disappeared instantly. The next second, the Buddha was hit hard, and a punch penetrated the body of the Buddha and came out from the back. Pluto fist. Lucifer's fist was pitch black, and he suddenly hit the chest of the giant Buddha. With one punch, the huge golden Buddha body of the Warring States period was directly knocked away, and it fell heavily in the distance. Phew! The black shadow flashed, and Lucifer had teleported. Go to the giant Buddha. The next second, Lucifer kicked the giant Buddha on the head. The giant Buddha turned into a train and shot out, spanning thousands of meters, crushing countless Navy pirates into pulp along the way, and finally smashed a huge mountain. Crash! All things are attracted by heaven. Lucifer was unreasonable and raised his hand to grab the giant Buddha from the ruins. Shinra Tianzheng. With a palm strike, the Buddha was knocked away again. Everyone saw that the body of the Buddha had cracked, and countless golden blood splashed out from the Buddha's body and scattered in all directions. Admiral? But that's it? Lucifer smiled coldly, and endless killing intent burst out in his eyes. The battlefield fell into a dead silence, and countless people were dumbfounded and their livers and gallbladders were split. What did they just see? A naval marshal, a legendary sailor who has been famous for decades, was actually suppressed and beaten by Lucifer. However, in just 3 and 2 moves, Marshal Sengoku was seriously injured. Lucifer beating a naval marshal was like a father beating his son. Sword of Judgment, weeping blood and cutting the sky. Lucifer raised his hand and pointed, and a golden sword condensed in the air, with a length of more than 200 meters. The endless golden light enveloped the earth, but it was a prelude to a fatal murderous intention. Warring States stood up from the ruins, not retreating but advancing. He knew that facing the roads if his killing move left him with no way to retreat and nowhere to escape. Only by facing the enemy head-on could he have a chance to survive. Die! Lucifer's finger fell, and the golden sword in the sky also fell with a crash. Before the sword hit, it had already rolled up a violent wind and wave, impacting all directions. Big Buddha shockwave. Warring States raised both palms together, hitting the golden sword with shock waves. In the end, the two sides collided with each other. With a loud bang, a bottomless ravine opened directly on the desert island, extending to the sea tens of thousands of meters away. Warring States, the huge golden Buddha's body was chopped away and smashed into 3 mountains one after another. The golden light on his body was extremely dim. As the light weakened, Warring States' body quickly shrank and finally returned to its original shape. Bang! Warring States fell heavily to the ground, smashing the ground. A big pit appeared, and it rolled for more than 10 times before finally stopping. Everyone saw that Marshal Warring States was now covered in blood and bruised. His body seemed to have been shattered by Lucifer, and there were countless cracks and wounds all over his body. There is almost no intact skin and flesh to be found. Sengoku's arms are twisted, and bone spurs pierce the flesh and blood. Obviously, Sengoku's arms are broken. If everyone hadn't seen and heard the domineering spirit of Sengoku and could still feel Sengoku's aura, they would all think this just a corpse. Defeated, the Warring States period was defeated. It's too fast. Is Lucifer actually so strong? That is the Marine Marshal, a legendary monster that has survived from the old times to the present. It's not even 3 minutes yet, right? Was he actually defeated at the hands of Lucifer? The members of the Whitebeard pirates looked at each other, with endless chills in their hearts. The name of a person, the shadow of a tree. They knew earlier that Lucifer was very powerful. But at this moment, they understood what exactly Lucifer's power is. Concept. Even though he is as strong as a Navy Marshal, he is as weak as an ant in front of Lucifer and is vulnerable to a single blow. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at West Lake. Chapter 204. Your Excellency Marshal. Marshal of the Warring States period. Quick, go save people. Someone come and stop Lucifer. Seeing that warring states was seriously injured, hundreds of thousands of naval forces suddenly fell into panic. Countless naval forces stepped forward to rescue warring states. Several vice admirals were the fastest, stepping on the moon and turning into black shadows to teleport to around Sengoku. The one who wanted to save people the most was of course the three admirals of the Navy, but they were all blocked by others, and they were too busy to save people in time. "Marshal, are you okay?" "Doctor, where is the doctor?" "That bastard Lucifer, I can't spare him." Three vice admirals helped Zenguo up and cursed loudly. Suddenly, one vice admiral became stiff and broke out in cold sweat. He stared blankly ahead, his face as pale as paper. "Hey, what's wrong with you? Quickly save people, why are you still standing there?" The two vice admirals didn't know why and yelled. The next second, their bodies froze in place. Their pupils were tightened, their eyes were dull and they didn't dare to blink. A cold air rose from their backs and went straight to Tianlinggai. A vice admiral turned his head tremblingly and found that at some point, Lucifer was already standing behind them. Lucifer looked down at them, his eyes cold and without any warmth, as if he was looking at three ants. "Lucifer!" A Navy vice admiral roared, and immediately swung his knife and slashed. The next second, he was hit hard and shot backwards. Before he hit the ground, his body exploded in the air, turning into a splatter of blood and flesh. "Explode!" Lucifer said lightly, and the other two vice admirals also flew out. There were two explosions, and two more vice admirals were dead. Ding, the host killed Vice Admiral Slink Ed and obtained 35,000 killing points. Ding, the host killed Vice Admiral Fa Misiwir and obtained 50,000 killing points. Ding, the host killed Vice Admiral Blanchette and obtained 40,000 killing points. Killing three Vice Admirals instantly, Lucifer gained hundreds of thousands of killing points, which was a good harvest. However, Lucifer did not pay attention to the system. Now the mere hundreds of thousands of killing points can no longer move Lucifer. The biggest prey is the crawling Marshal Warring States at his feet. Lucifer. Warring States still maintained his will and did not fall into coma. He lay in a pool of blood, staring at Lucifer with his eyes open. Warring States' vision was very hazy. In his sight, Lucifer's figure was shaking, and he could see his face is unclear. However, his hazy eyes are still full of endless hatred. "Garp, I can't avenge you anymore." Warring States is not afraid of death, he is just unwilling. He is unwilling to not get rid of Lucifer, a big problem, and to avenge his old friend for many years. Lucifer raised his right hand, and a golden sword was condensed, and it fell with a crash. At the critical moment, 4 black holes suddenly opened in the space around Lucifer. 3 black balls shot out of the rear and shot towards Lucifer's back. 3 figures shot out from the black holes in front and left, and 2 people launched fatal attacks at Lucifer. 1 person shot at Warring States in an attempt to save people. The 4 people's killing moves were caught off guard, and the people behind attacked the enemy and saved them, forcing Lucifer to give up killing and switch from offense to defense. 2 people on the left and right attacked, leaving Lucifer distracted and unable to do anything. The last person rescued the Warring States. The 4 of them are all general-level combatants, and they cooperate seamlessly and have a tacit understanding. "Well done, we're waiting for you." Lucifer has long known that there is a person with space ability in the world's government, and has taken precautions for a long time. Moreover, with his domineering power, he has already predicted the future and saw the next scene. Lucifer's eyes flashed with cold light, and his fingers with a wave, the golden sword suddenly burst into golden light and turned into 6 golden swords. 3 golden swords destroyed 3 space black balls. 2 golden swords, one on the left and one on the right, forced the 2 people back, and the last golden sword shot towards the Warring States. They wanted to save people, but Lucifer refused to let them do so. Boom! In just a short moment, the fight was over. The joint attack of 4 general-level combat forces was easily resolved by Lucifer. The people who saved warring states were also killed by Lu. The West was forced to retreat. The sudden scene stunned hundreds of thousands of people on the battlefield. No one expected that at this critical moment, 4 more general-level combat forces would join the battlefield. Of these 4 people, one was wearing black clothes, a black cape, and wearing a black mask. Judging by his breath, Lucifer recognized that he was the mysterious space system user. The other 3 wore white clothes, white cloaks, and white masks. But both their clothes and masks were inlaid with golden patterns. Even wearing a mask, Lucifer can still sense the superiority of the 3 people. That smell is very disgusting and disgusting. A celestial dragon. This kind of breath is very familiar to Lucifer. It is the Tianlong people. It's just that they are different from the ordinary pigdog Tianlong people. These 3 Tianlong people are very powerful and are already at the general level. 3 adults, Lucifer is very powerful, don't be careless. The mysterious space ability user reminded me. We know this, Ghost, and we don't need you to remind us. Don't be too self-righteous. It's not your turn to point fingers in front of us. In order to deal with a mere lowly pariah, we actually asked us to take action personally. The Navy is so incompetent. Hey, Sengoku, are you not dead yet? Don't lie there and pretend to be dead. It's so embarrassing to be a marshal. The 3 heavenly dragons spoke to each other, and the arrogance in their voices overflowed. Ordinary heavenly dragons are extremely arrogant and superior to others. Not to mention these 3 powerful heavenly dragons. Lucifer he glanced at the 4 people and smiled coldly, only 4 came. Warring states, they can't save you. Lucifer pointed and shot a laser beam towards Sengoku's head. The 4 general-level combat forces were repulsed and were gone. Can save the warring states period. You dare. Damn untouchables, how dare you show off in front of 3 of us. Too arrogant, seeking death. The 3 Tianlong people suddenly became furious, but they were too late to save Sengoku. They could only watch the laser shooting at Sengoku's head. Phew. At the critical moment, another black shadow came through the sky. The sword flashed and directly shot the laser ray chop. Everyone, am I not late? The visitor smiled slightly, revealing a sunny and mature face. It was the red-haired Shanks of the 4 emperors. Red hair, why is he here? Will the red-haired pirates also join the war? Here we come, the red-haired pirates are here. A pirate exclaimed, and everyone saw that a dense group of pirates was coming from a distance. There were more than 20,000 people. Judging from the situation, the red-haired pirate group also came to deal with Lucifer. Otherwise, there is no need to save Sengoku. The members of the Netherworld Pirates are all in heavy hearts, and the officials such as Eniro, Aim no Shiro, and Pizarro also have ugly faces. They have absolute confidence in dealing with the Whitebeard pirates. The Navy will follow. The joining of the large fleet was also in their plan. But then the Tianlong people joined the battlefield. Although there were only 4 of them, all 4 of them were general-level combatants, enough to change the battlefield situation. Now the red-haired pirates are coming again. Join in the fun. It's equivalent to the Netherworld pirates fighting against the 4 major forces of the Whitebeard pirates, Navy headquarters, Celestial dragons, and red hair pirates on their own. It's too stressful. Red hair, do you also want to be my enemy? Lucifer looked at the red-haired Shanks with an expressionless face, as if he had expected his appearance. The red-haired man smiled faintly and said, I'm here to end this war. Lucifer, you are strong and the whole world knows it. But if we continue to fight, it will do no good to anyone. It will only increase the fearless sacrifices in vain. Lucifer, you don't want all your subordinates to die here, right? The war has continued until now and can be over. Please give me some face. Face. Lucifer smiled sarcastically. Redhead, you don't have that much respect here. What if I have to continue playing? Then I will join the fight. The red-haired man pulled out the long knife from his waist and said domineeringly, come on, let us be your opponent. The cotters of the red-haired pirates walked out from behind, came behind red-haired, and lined up. The red-haired pirates are known as the most balanced pirate group with the strongest personnel. Although they are small in number, but all of them are elites, and the strength of the cotters is also extremely terrifying. Especially the deputy captain Beckman, whose strength is at the level of the Yonko. In the original work, the General Kizaru raised his hands and surrendered with only a pistol. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at West Lake. Chapter 205. Sure enough, the red hair came anyway. Dad, what should we do now? Marco flew behind Whitebeard and asked for his opinion. Just wait, this war won't end so easily. Whitebeard said lightly. Dad, you mean, Lucifer will continue to fight? Ah, that's right. This brat won't stop. No way. Marco looked at Lucifer from a distance with an expression of disbelief. In his opinion, the war should be over by now. You know, the Nether Pirates are now facing the Whitebeard Pirates, Navy headquarters, the 4 general-level combat forces of the Celestial Dragon World Palace and the Red-Haired Pirates. No force can fight against such a terrifying force on its own. Even the strongest Nether Pirates in the New World, Marco no chance of winning. Ha 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 ha. Lucifer's loud laughter spread throughout the battlefield. Everyone saw Lucifer spread his devil wings and slowly flew into the sky. Today's battle of the century, only my will can bring it to an end. No matter how many enemies come, they will eventually crawl at my feet. The Netherworld pirates obeyed the order and blood-bathed the desert island, killing all invading enemies. Yes. Kill. After receiving Lucifer's order, the Nether pirates rioted again, and their momentum increased instead of decreasing. Even though the enemy was so terrifying and powerful, they still had high fighting spirit and showed no fear at all. Everything comes from Lucifer's power. Lucifer, you will regret it? The red-haired man glared suddenly, losing his usual funny personality. Lucifer smiled coldly, no one in this world can make me regret it, and I won't regret it either. Whoever wants to be the first to die, come up. As soon as the words fell, a Tianlong man immediately teleported in front of Lucifer, clenched his fist, covered with black lightning, and hit Lucifer's head. Wherever the fist touched, the space was distorted and shattered. Despicable untouchables, go to hell. Bang. Lucifer raised his hand and grabbed the celestial dragon's fist. The crushing power on his fist was directly crushed by Lucifer's arm domineering force. Then, Lucifer suddenly pulled and punched the celestial dragon's chest. Above. Sky shock howling moon wolf. Roar. The invisible wolf howl resounded through the sky, and the space and atmosphere shattered inch by inch. The Tianlong man screamed in horror, and the next second, his body also shattered inch by inch, turning into countless broken flesh and blood flying everywhere. Flesh and blood filled the sky. And it fell, as if there was a bloody rain. Ding, the host killed the celestial dragon Don Quixote Moribaz and obtained 360,000 killing points. With just one move, a general-level warrior died in Lucifer's hands. Upon seeing this, the red-haired and Beckman twitched the corners of their mouths, and their expressions became more solemn. Lucifer was more ferocious and cruel than they imagined. More boss. Damn untouchables, how dare you kill the celestial dragons? Do you know who he is? Dare to hurt the celestial dragons, do you want to provoke the gods of the world? The remaining 2 heavenly dragons cursed and roared. Lucifer was expressionless and did not speak. He disappeared in a flash. Careful! Red Hair, Beckman, and Ghost immediately roared in warning. However, they were still a step too late. Lucifer appeared directly behind the two Dracos as if teleporting. He held their heads with both hands and moved towards smashed it hard in the middle. Bang! The two heads exploded like watermelons, and blood and pulp flowed all over the floor. Ding! The host killed the draconian Charles Goodwin and obtained 330,000 killing points. Ding! The host killed the draconian Jilpasira and obtained 340,000 killing points. Throwing down the two headless corpses, Lucifer's killing points increased by a full 670,000. Including the first Tianlong, Lucifer gained more than 1 million killing points at once. He glanced at the person in front of him with his peripheral vision. Attribute panel, the total number of Lucifer's killing points has reached 2,846,000. Attribute panel. Host, Lucifer. Age, 24. Devil fruit, word spirit fruit, awakened. Physique, hell demon. Armed color Haki, domain. Wisdom color Haki, domain. Overlord color dominance, domain. Killing points, 284,6000. Now, if Lucifer breaks out with all his strength, killing general level combat power is really like killing ants. Shaking away the blood on his hands, Lucifer looked at the three red-haired people and gave a bloodthirsty smile. The breath of the celestial dragons is really disgusting, so I'll send a few of them to hell first. You don't mind, right? The entire battlefield has been shocked by Lucifer's ruthless methods at this moment. Hundreds of thousands of sailors and tens of thousands of pirates are all frightened and stunned. Hey, isn't it too scary? Am I dreaming? Are you kidding me? Marco's mind went blank, and his face was covered in cold sweat before he knew it. He felt like he had been dazzled just now, as if he had seen an illusion. You know, the three celestial dragons who died in Lucifer's hands were all veritable generals. Combat power. Each one has the strength to suppress the sea. But such a powerful combat power was killed by Lucifer in an understatement. That man is not a monster, he is a devil. It's a demon from hell. Is it really possible for us to defeat such a demon? Not only Marco, but also the other captains of the Whitebeard pirates and the affiliated pirate captains were all extremely frightened at this moment. They didn't realize that their bodies had begun to tremble. They didn't want to be afraid, but the instincts of their body cells couldn't control. Fear radiates from every cell. Yeah, ha, sure enough, I knew Captain Lucifer was the strongest. Eniru, who was floating in the sky, laughed wildly, but the General Kizaru opposite him had a gloomy face at the moment. His pupils were constricted, and the depths of his eyes were full of fear. Among the three generals, who is the most terrifying to Lucifer? It was undoubtedly General Kizaru. Seeing Lucifer kill three celestial dragons one after another, Kizaru already wanted to retreat. He was scared, and just wanted to escape from this battlefield as soon as possible. Lucifer seemed impossible to defeat at first glance. Monster, it's too late to escape now. Compared with his life, the responsibilities of a naval admiral are nothing. On the other hand, the Admiral Qing Ji also looked dull at the moment, unable to describe the shock in his heart. Lucifer kills an admiral like an ant, isn't it? Can you kill him easily? Hey, Qing Pheasant, where are you looking? The evil King Pizarro seized Aoki's flaw and punched Aoki's chest. The powerful magma exploded, and it was also covered with high-density armed haki. Pizarro also used the internal haki of armed haki. Destruction skills. This move directly injured Aokiji's internal organs, causing him to vomit blood. General Fujitoro was relatively easy among the three, because the strength of the Golden Emperor was not as strong as Eniro and Pizarro, so the pressure he put on Fujitoro wasn't that great. Even if his flaws were exposed, he wasn't hurt. However, the killings caused by Lucifer still shocked Fujitoro. Navy, it's dangerous. Scenes of rapidly changing images appeared in Fujitora's mind, all for the scenes that would appear. That's right, Fujitora's power of knowledge and color has been cultivated to the level of predicting the future, even better than Katakuri's level. Even higher, see the future is even further. In the picture of the future that Fujitora saw, he only saw countless Marines who died tragically, and the Navy headquarters was defeated. Although the future may change, Fujitora is unable to change the fate that is destined to come at this moment. In the sky, Lucifer stands suspended, and the devil's wings gently flap. Redhead, you shouldn't be here today. From the moment you step into this battlefield, the red-haired pirates are destined to be destroyed. Light Sword 8-foot Megatama. As soon as he finished speaking, countless lightsabers suddenly fell down and shot at the red-haired man. The red-haired man drew his sword blankly, and a round of black and red slashes shot out of the air, smashing all the lightsabers into pieces. As the black shadow flashed, the red-haired man was stunned. Fa arrived in front of Lucifer and chopped him down with his sword. God avoids. The black-red sword light fell, only slicing Lucifer's face. Lucifer recognized that this was Roger's signature move. The red-haired man inherited Roger's will and grew up, so it was natural for him to learn his moves. Lucifer with a big hand grab, a long knife appeared in the palm of his hand. The same knife fell down and collided with the red-haired swords. Boom! The two people's overbearing domineering energy burst out at the same time, and the tsunami of momentum instantly bombarded a radius of tens of thousands of meters. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at West Lake. Chapter 206. Overlord Color Field. No, it's just a half step, you haven't really entered the field yet. Redhead, your domineering color is far from perfect. Lucifer roared, and a higher level of Overlord's domineering energy burst out instantly, directly defeating the red-haired Overlord. The endless momentum impact was like a shockwave rushing in all directions. All the pirates and marines who were impacted lost consciousness and fell into comatose. The red-haired man was also knocked back and fell from the sky, smashing a hill into pieces. Bang! 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 Beckman fired several shots, aiming at Lucifer's eyebrows, throat, heart, and other vital parts. When he fired, he was instilled with high-density armed color haki. The power of the bullet was comparable to Kizaru's laser beam, and even more penetrating. Stop! Lucifer shouted coldly, and all the shots naturally stopped in mid-air. Let's go back. As he spoke, the bullets fired by Beckman returned to the same path, and at a faster speed. Beckman dodged the bullets, but a bullet grazed his cheek, leaving a crack. At this time, the red hair attacked again. He swung his sword and slashed continuously, and more than a dozen flying slashes that merged with the Overlord color and the weapon color broke through the air and shot at Lucifer. At the same time, CP0's ghost agent also attacked again. With a wave of his hand, the space suddenly rippled. Lucifer's body flashed, dodging the slash and space attack. The slash smashed a mountain behind Lucifer, and wherever the space attack went, it directly swallowed up half of the mountain. The space fruit, in Superman, it is the best among the best in the ability of nature. Not only can it travel through space at will, but it can also smash space and even destroy everything. Even without armed haki, with this ability, the entity of the natural ability user can be erased at will. Space erasure, it means erasing everything. Lucifer was suspended in the sky, fighting against the red hair, Beckman, and the ghost alone, without falling behind at all. He opened his hands, and the devil's whisper suddenly sounded. Gravity crushes. With Lucifer as the center, the powerful gravity field spread out, instantly covering a radius of several thousand meters. The powerful gravity exploded, and countless pirates and navy were all pressed to the ground. Then, boom, 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 boom. The bodies of the pirates and navy exploded like exploding watermelons, with blood and flesh flying everywhere, and yellow and white things scattered all over the ground. Even the vice admiral was crushed to pieces by Lucifer's gravity field. In one killing, thousands died at the hands of Lucifer. The electronic sound of the system kept ringing, but Lucifer had no expression on his face. Escape, quickly leave the captain's gravity field. If you don't want to die, just leave. Don't enter the captain's attack range. Cavendish, Jack, Baby 5 and others roared one after another and began to direct the battle. Lucifer's killing move is too terrifying. Once activated, it does not distinguish between friend and foe. In the gravity field, only Red Hair, Beckman, and Ghost, the three of them, were still alive. However, the three of them were also suppressed and half kneeling on the ground. The weakest Ghost among the three was even vomiting blood. Crush it, boom. Be broken, boom. Destroy it, boom. The earth wailed, and the gravity increased several levels again. The Ghost vomited blood and was already pressed to the ground, wailing. The red-haired and Beckman also clenched their teeth tightly, making it difficult to move. In Lucifer under the gravity field, the three of them seemed to collapse at any time. Captain. Vice Captain. When the officers of the red-haired pirate group in the distance saw this, they immediately rushed towards the red-haired Beckman, trying to save him. Do not come. The red-haired man yelled, you can't hold on. The red-haired man burst out with armed domineering energy covering his whole body, resisting Lucifer's gravity suppression. He knew that he could not let his companions run over to save them. Lucifer's strength was too terrifying. Once they came over, they would be killed instantly. Your captain is right, you should just stay here and watch the red hair being killed. The black shadow flashed, and Cavendish came to the top of Lackey Lou and others. With a wave of his hand, the sickle weasel condensed with massive rocks had already slashed at Lackey Lou and others with a sword. Kang! A sword light flashed past, the giant sickle was cut in half. The person who took action had long yellow hair, and he was one of the cotters of the red-haired pirate group, Lime Jones. Bang! 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 Jesus Bulletin fired several shots. The gun was aimed at Cavendish's vitals, trying to shoot him out of the sky. But at the same time as Jesus fired, gunshots also sounded from behind Cavendish. All of Jesus' bullets were intercepted in mid-air. Jesus raised his gun and aimed at the gunfire. There was no one in the direction of the sound, and even the sight and sound hacky failed to capture the target. The one who shot was the white god of death Simon Hay, the #1 sniper of the Netherworld Pirates, and a user with the transparent fruit ability. The transparent fruit covers his body shape and aura. Simon is at home in this mixed battlefield. From the beginning of the war, he has not shown his whereabouts. Maybe he will not show up until the end of the war. Sniper skills are first, knowing how to hide yourself is second. Simon Hay has both, and can be called the most insidious snake in this decisive battle of the century. Subsequently, Jack the Ripper, Baby 5, Sherlock Smoothie, Sherlock Cracker, Sherlock Owen and others also join the battlefield one after another, blocking all the cotters of the red-haired pirates. In terms of the total number of troops, the Netherworld pirates are indeed inferior to the four major forces. But in terms of high-level combat power, the Netherworld pirates are not less than the four major forces. Even if one person fights against the four major forces, and the high-level combat power is more than enough. Boom! An invisible shockwave crosses the battlefield and hits the gravity field created by Lucifer. Click! 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 The sound of the atmosphere shattering sounded, and Lucifer's gravity field along with the atmosphere they were shattered together. Red Hair, Beckman, and Ghost took the opportunity to escape. Lucifer flew to a transformation and looked to the southeast with an expressionless face. Whitebeard, are you finally going to take action? The person who took action just now was Whitebeard, otherwise no one could shatter Lucifer's gravity field with one blow. Goo la 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 la. Whitebeard laughed boldly, seeing you guys fighting so fiercely, my hands are a little itchy. I have not experienced such a bloody battle for many years. Whitebeard holds Kongyunkai and points at Lucifer from a distance. It's not that Whitebeard wants to save people, but that he has to take action. Although he doesn't want to join forces with the red-haired and the people in the government, the current situation cannot tolerate it. He hesitated. He had already seen that Lucifer's strength was far superior to the red-haired Ghost and others. If he didn't take action and watched the red-haired Beckman being killed by Lucifer, then they would be the ones who collapsed in the next moment. The bearded pirates. Whitebeard must make a decision. Lucifer smiled coldly and said, since we have taken action, let's go together. Today, I will use your heads to pave the way for our netherworld pirates to become gods. Boom. A terrifying momentum erupted from Lucifer, instantly forming a shockwave and tsunami that hit all directions. With Lucifer as the center, within a radius of 10,000 meters, all pirates and navy bodies exploded at the same time, leaving no whole body dead. The earth it was shattered inch by inch and covered with countless cracks. The rocky mountain was cut open, and the ruins and rubble were scattered all over the ground. Overlord Color Field. When the white-bearded and red-haired two saw the explosive Lucifer, their pupils suddenly shrank, and an unprecedented solemn expression appeared on their faces. Only the two of them knew what the Overlord Color Field meant. Overlord Color Domineering. Only those who are selected, only one person in a million can awaken the power. The realm of Overlord Color and Dominance is a realm that only one person among millions of people who have awakened Overlord Color and Dominance can step into. It can be said to be unique among billions. Since the disintegration of the old era, no one has set foot in the Overlord Color Domineering realm. Whitebeard also set foot in this realm when he was young, but now he is too old, has suffered from hidden injuries, and his strength has seriously declined. He can no longer use the Overlord Color realm. And red hair, Overlord Color qualifications. Although it is unprecedentedly powerful, it is only half a step into the realm of Overlord sex. Although it is only half a step away, this half step is like a sky, and it is far away. Maybe the red hair may not be able to take that half step in this life. The battlefield has been opened, come on together. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at West Lake. Chapter 207. The battlefield has been opened, come on together. Lucifer's voice boomed, resounding throughout the sky. Whitebeard jumped directly into the Overlord Color domain, and rushed towards Lucifer. He also used his Overlord Color to offset the suppression of the Overlord Color domineering domain. On a battlefield with a radius of 10,000 meters, Lucifer faces Whitebeard, Red Hair, Beckman, and Ghost alone. A fierce battle is about to break out. Dad, let me help you too. Marco turned into a phoenix and flew from a distance. But a black shadow appeared above him and shot it down with a knife. The one who took action was Vabel. Vabel held a naginata and intercepted in front of Marco. The tall figure, the same white beard and naginata made Marco doubt his life. Stop, Captain Lucifer said, you can't pass. Vabel will not say harsh words, he will only follow Lucifer's orders. As soon as he finished speaking, Vabel activated his fruit ability and soon turned into a golden dragon. Roar! The golden dragon roared and soared into the sky. Rise, carrying huge gusts of wind. Hey, are you kidding me? Isn't this Kaido's ability? That bastard Lucifer really took away Kaido's ability. This guy is difficult to deal with. Foil Bista, Diamond Jose and others came to Marco's side, and they all looked at Qinglong Weibul with solemn eyes. Roar! Weibul opened his mouth and let out a breath of hot breath. The long pillar of flames flew over 1,000 meters, directly engulfing Marco and Bistakos. Captain Marco! Captain Jaws! Captain Bista! The members of the Whitebeard pirates were shocked and screamed and yelled. The next moment, 3 figures emerged from the flames and flew into the sky. Marco turned into a phoenix and rushed towards Qinglong with blue flames. The 2 foil swords of Bista came out at the same time, and petals bloomed between the vertical and horizontal swords. The sword light merged into a cross and struck the Qinglong's abdomen. Jose's attack was the most direct, using physical collision. The 3 attacks at the same time it hit Qinglong, but Qinglong Weibul only moved his body and was not injured. It is not that simple to break Qinglong's scale defense. It seems that there is still a gap in military strength. Lucifer is suspended in the sky, and his domineering aura envelops the entire battlefield, locking all the life breath. Although there is no shortage of high-level combat power, the number of lower-level soldiers is still insufficient. The lower-level pirates of the Netherworld pirates are indeed elite, but Whitebeard the pirates of the pirates and the red-haired pirates are also elite. Coupled with the Navy's hundreds of thousands of troops, there is a huge gap in the number of people in the Netherworld pirates. That's right, if this continues, the Nether pirates will collapse. The red-haired man said from the side, Lucifer, it's not too late to stop the war. Collapse. Lucifer sneered. It's too early to say collapse now. How do you know I only have these troops? What did you say? A bad premonition surged in the red-haired heart. His eyes scanned the battlefield, and his pupils instantly tightened. He didn't notice it before, but now he discovered it. All the troops Lucifer brought this time were pirates. There are no Wano warriors and fur tribes. Although these 2 groups of troops are small in number, they are very powerful. If Lucifer wants to go to war, there is no reason not to take them. Lucifer seemed to have read through the red hair's inner thoughts and said with a smile, it seems you noticed. But, you still guessed wrong. I'm talking about military strength, not samurai and fur tribes. Quinn. Lucifer's roar spread throughout the battlefield, and Quinn, who was fighting, immediately responded. Here I am, Captain Lucifer. After taking refuge with Lucifer, Quinn became very honest. Facing a terrifying and cruel captain, he had to be honest. Let some of them out. At your command, Captain Lucifer. Quinn smiled coldly, turned into a brachiosaurus and crossed the battlefield, returning to the back of the Netherworld pirates. There, a group of pirates were ready. They opened 5 metal boxes, and as Quinn started the program, inside the box Wushuan's red eyes lit up. Boom. 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 5 loud noises exploded, and 5 figures rushed out of the box and joined the battlefield. These 5 people were clearly the seafloor stone humanoids made by Quinn. Weapons. Whoosh. 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 One humanoid weapon fired laser rays into the battlefield, causing an explosion instantly. The second humanoid weapon shot out thunder and lightning from its mouth, the third opened weapon holes all over its body and fired hundreds of missiles, and the fourth spraying flames, he directly created a sea of fire. The fifth one was covered with sharp barbs and rushed directly into the battlefield. All the pirates and navy who came into contact with him were all smashed into flesh and bones. What kind of monster is that? Is it human? No, that's not right, there's no human scent, that's a robot. What a strong strength. There are many pirates on the battlefield who know how to use hacking. They can see at a glance that these 5 humanoid weapons are not human. However, the terrifying strength of the humanoid weapons scares them. Several pirate captains stepped forward to fight with the humanoids. After the weapons clashed, they were all killed in an instant. Soon, they discovered that these humanoid weapons could not only use laser, lightning, flame, wind, and other powers. Their entire bodies were also made of seafloor stone, and not only had amazing defense, harder than diamond, it can also restrain those with devil fruit abilities. What's even more troublesome is that the humanoid weapons can use armament color and inside color hacking. The overall combat power is comparable to that of a naval admiral. 5 humanoid weapons are equivalent to 5 a naval admiral, and a naval admiral who is not afraid of injury or death. 1 admiral level combat power is amazing enough to change the pattern of a war. But now, there are 5 in the Nether pirates. Why not let them? They are frightened. Yeah, ha 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 ha, come on, everyone, wipe out all the enemies. Show the world your power. Quinn stood on a boulder and let out a sharp laugh. Watching the humanoid weapons kill the enemy, he was even more proud. The Halostone humanoid weapon was his highest masterpiece, perfectly integrating the power of human beings and technology. In this world, he is the first person to reach this level. Even Vegapunk, known as the world's #1 scientist, can't compare to him in this aspect. 5 general-level humanoid weapons joined the battle. The Netherworld pirates. The pressure on the regiment was greatly reduced and the morale was greatly increased. Faced with the crazy killing of 5 humanoid weapons, no one could resist, and the battle situation became one-sided. Kizaru, Aoki, and Fujitora wanted to go up to support, but were stopped by Ai Nero, Pizarro, Golden Emperor, and Evil Wolf stopped him. Golden Emperor couldn't defeat Fujitora, so Evil Wolf joined the battle midway, and the two teamed up to fight against Fujitora. 4 people intercepted, and all the 3 admirals of the navy were helpless. Similarly, the high-level combat power of the Whitebeard pirates and the red-haired pirates were also intercepted. They could only watch 5 humanoid weapons crazily slaughtering their lower-level companions. Seeing this, the red-haired pirates couldn't help but turn red. Change, Lucifer, you hide so deeply. Lucifer smiled faintly. No one will play all their trump cards, and of course I do too. Also, you can guess again, where did my samurai army and fur tribe army go? You. The 4 people with red hair, Beckman, Ghost, and Whitebeard suddenly changed their expressions. Yes, it seems you guessed it. Lucifer said with a smile. The Navy headquarters came out in full force, and the combat power of the Holy Land Marijoya also came out in full force. How could I let go of such an opportunity? You can take a closer look. Which of my subordinates is missing? Bundy Waldo. The red hair said this name word by word. That's right. You sent them to the Navy headquarters and the Holy Land Marijoa. The ghost roared loudly. Ha 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 ha. Lucifer looked up to the sky and smiled. This is so interesting. I can defeat the Whitebeard pirates, the red-haired pirates, the Navy headquarters, and Marijoa all at once. After today's battle, this world is mine. You are dreaming. The ghost roared loudly. How can a lowly pirate like you know the power of the Holy Land? Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at West Lake. Chapter 208. If you let them invade the Holy Land, you are just asking for death. The red-haired man also said, you want to destroy us all at once, Lucifer, you are so arrogant. Whitebeard also laughed boldly. Kid, you are really too arrogant. Am I arrogant? Lucifer said expressionlessly. No, I'm just stating a fact. You're right, Ryder. Ah, that's right. A group of bats flew by and condensed into Ryder's body behind Lucifer. Whether you win or lose depends on today's battle. Do it. As soon as he finished speaking, Ryder had already taken action. With a flash of sword light, the ghost was directly chopped away. The two of them quickly exchanged blows and fought in the distance. Lucifer, on the other hand, faced Whitebeard, Red Hair, and Baker alone. Man, 3 people. Air shock. Whitebeard swung up Kongyunki and slashed with a knife, and the atmospheric space suddenly shattered. A terrifying shockwave instantly enveloped Lucifer. Dissipate. Lucifer raised his hand and waved, and the power of the shockwave was immediately reduced by 90%. The remaining 10% hit Lucifer, as if a breeze was blowing on his face. At the same time, the killing moves of Red Hair and Beckman also followed. The red-haired man possesses the armament color and overlord color, slashing through the air and tearing apart the sky and the earth. Beckman gave up attacking Lucifer with a pistol and also used the sword as a weapon. He is also a peak swordsman. The red-haired pirates, the configuration is very similar to that of the Roger pirates. The captain and deputy captain are both sword masters. Wall of vacuum. Lucifer raised his hand and pointed, condensing the wall of vacuum to block the two people's slashes, and at the same time used his backhand to attack. Infinite gravity field. The terrifying gravity instantly filled the overlord color domain. Under the suppression of the dual domains, Whitebeard, Red Hair, and Beckman were immediately affected, and their speed and strength were greatly reduced. Whoa, the black shadow flashed, and Lucifer teleported directly to Red Hair in front. Lightsaber Judgment Blade. When the sword fell, the terrifying armed color and overlord color domineering energy suddenly burst out. The red hair was directly chopped away by the sword, and the whole person was shot backwards, flying thousands of meters. At the same time, the overlord color domineering energy in the field also condensed. In essence, he began to attack the red hair. The overlord colored domineering energy condensed into countless swords, cutting the red hair, and cutting the red hair with bruises all over his body. Lightsaber domineering for all calamities. Lucifer took advantage of the victory to pursue. He raised his hand to condense a 100-meter giant sword with one finger, and slashed down with one sword. The atmosphere was split, and cracks appeared in the space. Finally, the giant sword hit the red hair. Boom! The island shook, and the earth shook. The mountain shook, and a huge mountain instantly turned into dust. Red Hair was hit by a giant sword, and he didn't know whether he was alive or dead. Shanks! Beckman roared loudly, but he did not lose his mind or be at a loss. Instead, he attacked Lucifer with deadly murderous moves. At the same time, Whitebeard's killing move also followed. Whitebeard teleported and generally appeared in behind Lucifer. A terrifying overlord-colored domineering energy erupted, trying to frighten Lucifer. His fist had also been smashed towards Lucifer, and a transparent aperture condensed on his fist, which was the terrifying ability of the shock fruit. The two of them killed each other at the same time, one on the left and the other on the right. Come on, Lucifer did not dodge, but raised his hands at the same time, with his palms facing the two of them. Shinra Tianzhang. The terrifying repulsion that combines the aura of the armed color and the domineering color of the overlord suddenly roared out like a tsunami. Beckman's sword attack was directly defeated, and he himself was also knocked away. Whitebeard was a little stronger, and the repulsive force of Shinra Tenzin was the same as that of Kong. Zhen's fists collided, and for a moment they were evenly matched, and they were in a stalemate. Boom! A terrifying shockwave erupted, and the two people's domineering energy also entangled and collided with each other. Countless black and red lightning turned into poisonous snakes, crisscrossing, interlaced and dancing wildly in all directions. With Lucifer and Whitebeard as the center, all the rocks within a radius of 1,000 meters were destroyed. The collision of overlord-colored domineering energy caused a violent wind to rise into the sky, breaking through the clouds in the sky, leaving a hole with a diameter of more than 1,000 meters. A huge hole in the rise. The battle between the two seemed to break the sky. Whitebeard, it seems that you are not very old, but that's all. Lucifer laughed ferociously, and the repulsion, armed domineering and overlord domineering power of his palm suddenly increased by one level. Boom! Whitebeard's earthquake power was directly defeated, and the terrifying repulsive force directly hit Whitebeard's chest, and then broke out of his body. Whitebeard's pupils shrank, he let out a muffled grunt, and a mouthful of blood spurted out involuntarily. Then, he slid out and plowed the ground with his feet, leaving 2 deep ravines. In the end, Whitebeard clearly understood he was about to fall, but he held on and stood upright. Dad. Seeing Whitebeard injured and vomiting blood, the members of the Whitebeard pirates who had been paying attention to the battle suddenly screamed and shouted. A group of pirates ran towards Whitebeard, as if to support him. However, the moment they stepped into the realm of Overlord color and domineering, the body exploded directly. Blood and flesh flew everywhere, and no bones remained. Do not come! Whitebeard roared and drove away a group of pirates who were still trying to come forward. Whitebeard knew how terrifying the Overlord color domineering domain was. Even though he seemed to have no feeling inside the domain, he used his own Overlord colored domineering energy covers the surface of the body, blocking the attacks that are everywhere and all the time. Once a person with insufficient strength steps into this realm, he will step into the hell of hell and will be cut into pieces and die in an instant. Damn it, are we just watching and doing nothing? That bastard Lucifer dared to hurt Dad. I can't spare him. Why am I so weak? If I could be stronger, this wouldn't be the result. The members of the Whitebeard pirates all secretly hate themselves for being too weak. If they had enough strength, they could stand shoulder to shoulder with Whitebeard fight, instead of watching helplessly here, helpless. Dad. Among the many members of the Whitebeard pirates, there is only one person who is qualified and has the strength to rush into the realm of domineering. He is Marco. The moment he saw Whitebeard injured and vomiting blood, Marco had already turned into a phoenix and flew towards Whitebeard. His abilities and armament are domineering, and he can protect himself from fatal injuries. However, Vabel will not let him go. Countless wind blades spurt out from the mouth of the blue dragon, all hitting the phoenix, and shooting Marco down the sky. The phoenix can fly, but the blue dragon can also fly, and faster. On this battlefield, Vabel can almost be regarded as Marco's natural enemy. No matter what method he uses, it is impossible to ask the blue dragon Vabel. Boom! Overlord in the erotic realm, a piece of ruins and rubble exploded, and red-haired Shanks escaped. Shanks, are you okay? Beckman yelled in the distance. It's okay, he's not dead yet. The red-haired man wiped away a trace of blood from the corner of his mouth, and his expression became more serious. Endless Overlord-colored domineering energy surged out of his body, wrapped around his whole body, and merged with the armed-colored domineering energy to form a set of 2-color domineering armor. The terrifying aura formed a shockwave and exploded, briefly force back Lucifer's domineering aura around him. Oh! There were 2 moments. Lucifer raised his eyebrows and revealed a sneer. Although his Overlord-colored attack was not completely repulsed, it was already remarkable that he could protect himself. Similarly, Whitebeard in the distance also created a 2-color domineering armor. Protect yourself. Although Whitebeard has grown older and his strength has declined, Whitebeard can no longer use the domineering field of domineering color. But making a domineering armor is still possible with the current Whitebeard. Compared with the 2 of them, Beckman it's far from it. He has not awakened the Overlord color haki. Although the armed color haki has been cultivated to the peak level and can make armed color haki armor. But using only a single haki armor to fight against Lucifer's Overlord color haki field is obviously not enough. Far away. A cold light flashed in Lucifer's eyes, and he instantly increased the power of the Overlord-colored domineering field. Beckman's armor was impacted, and cracks suddenly appeared. Phew! The black shadow flashed, and Lucifer had teleported in front of Beckman. It's time for you to quit. Shinra Tianzhang. Boom! Lucifer's palm hit Beckman's chest, and the terrifying repulsion and two-color domineering power poured out immediately. Lucifer's attack was so fast that Beckman had no time to react, and the attack was already coming. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at Westlake. Chapter 209. Click. 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 The armed domineering armor was shattered inch by inch, and the domineering fragments dissipated invisible. All the power of Lucifer's attack hit Beckman, directly breaking through his flesh and blood and coming out. Puff. Flesh and blood flew everywhere, and blood splattered. Beckman's eyes widened and finally became dim. I saw that a big hole had appeared in Beckman's chest, with light coming from the front and back. With one strike of Lucifer's palm, he punched through Beckman's chest, and all his internal organs, flesh and bones were knocked away. With a pop, Beckman fell to his knees at Lucifer's feet, completely losing his breath. Ding, the host killed the pirate Ben Beckman and obtained 390,000 killing points. Beckman is a true Yonko level fighter. Although he is not as good as Kaido and Big Mom, he still has 390,000 kill points, which is a big gain. Beckman. Seeing Beckman being killed, the red-haired man's eyes suddenly turned red and he roared, "Lucifer, I can't spare you." God avoids. Hongfei slashed with his knife, and a diameter of more than 100 meters of black and red slashes suddenly shot through the air. The slashing attack combines high-density armed color and overlord color. Even a naval admiral will be seriously injured if hit by this sword. Explode. Facing the attack of the slashing attack, Lucifer did not dodge or dodge, he opened his hands to greet it with his chest. The next second, the slashing attack exploded, turning into countless small sword auras that were obliterated by the overlord-colored domineering field. I said, "You have no chance of winning. Today, everyone will die here." After saying that, Lucifer raised his foot and kicked Beckman's body towards the red-haired man. The red-haired man raised his hand to catch it, his face full of grief, with anger and murderous intent deep in his eyes. Boom. At this moment, a wave of terror, the shock wave, came down and instantly enveloped Lucifer. It was Whitebeard who took action. "Red-haired kid, now is not the time to feel sad. You should have been prepared to die before you came, right? Our opponent is Lucifer. It is simply impossible to defeat him without sacrificing yourself." After saying that, Whitebeard jumped up and jumped into the sky above Lucifer's head. Whitebeard's eyes were red, and the domineering aura shrouded the surroundings, like a piece of armor on his body. The blade of the supreme fast knife Kongyunkai was pitch black, shining sharply. The sharp edge. Kang. Kongyunkai slashed down in anger, suddenly shocking. Boom. A golden longsword blocked Kongyunkai, and the overlord-colored domineering energy between the swords collided with each other, forming a crimson ball. Countless black-red lightning bursts out, scattering in all directions. Ah! Whitebeard roared angrily, wielding the sword with all his strength, and the armed domineering and overlord domineering were also brought to the extreme. The ground under Lucifer's feet was shattered inch by inch, the cracks spread in all directions, and they gradually sunk inch by inch. Just when Lucifer and when Whitebeard was in a stalemate, the red hair also attacked again. With a flash of the sword, the red hair had already struck Lucifer's back. Clang! In an instant, the attack was over, and the red hair had teleported to his position. Click! Click! Several slight sounds were heard, and the red-haired man turned around and saw several cracks in the armed domineering armor on Lucifer's back. Has the defense been broken? The red-haired eyes showed joy. The battle has continued until now, and this is the first time they have broken Lucifer's defense. Boom! With a loud noise, the armed domineering armor behind Lucifer exploded, and a trace of blood sprayed out. Success. The red-haired man was very excited. After all the hardships, he finally injured Lucifer. Being able to hurt Lucifer means there is hope of defeating him. As long as we find another chance, we may not be able to completely eliminate Lucifer. The red-haired man's fighting spirit increased sharply, and the murderous aura and domineering aura in his body increased to another level. However, a strange smile appeared on the corner of Lucifer's mouth. Boom! The golden sword suddenly swung, and the powerful sword aura enveloped the Overlord. The domineering force directly tore through Whitebeard's domineering attack and knocked him back 100 meters. Lucifer's back had been slashed by the red hair with a huge gash, but Lucifer turned a blind eye, as if he didn't feel anything at all. It turns out you can get hurt too, Lucifer. This is the first time. The red-haired man knew that Lucifer had never been injured since his debut, not even a drop of blood. This is definitely the first time. Yes, it is indeed the first time, Lucifer said expressionlessly. Looking back, Lucifer looked at the red-haired man and smiled evilly. You seem to be very proud of hurting me. Ah, yes, I did get a little excited. The red-haired man roared in shock and anger. If I hurt you this time, I can kill you next time. Today, I will definitely avenge Beckman and send you to hell. Hong Li pointed the knife at Lucifer, and the murderous aura erupted from his body, turning into an invisible tsunami and surrounding Lucifer. Lucifer smiled evilly. Do you know what despair is? You. The red-haired face changed, but Lucifer spoke again. The deepest despair in the world is not to watch a companion die tragically and be helpless, nor to be helpless in the face of death, but to still have hope in a person's heart. Give him hope, and then completely destroy his hope at the moment when he is full of hope. This is the deepest despair in the world. You. The red-haired man stared at Lucifer, his pupils constricted, as if he had thought of something. His expression was infinitely horrified and twisted, full of disbelief. Yes, I am your despair. Lucifer smiled evilly and said lightly, recover. The moment the words fell, the wound on Lucifer's back healed instantly, and the whole process took less than a second. The red-haired man watched the wound on Lucifer's back heal, and infinite fear surged in his heart. At this moment, the red-haired finger was cold, because all the blood in his body had rushed to his feet. The instinct of his body told him that he should escape at this time. The red-haired will did not want to escape, but the instinct of the body was already ready to escape. Prepare. You, impossible. The red-haired man didn't want to believe that such a thing could happen in the world. His knife cut so deeply that anyone would have been seriously injured. But Lucifer used his ability to heal himself, as easily as eating and drinking. As simple as water. Don't believe it? Lucifer smiled evilly. If you don't believe it, try it again. Lucifer opened his hands, retracted his domineering armor, and pointed his chest at the red hair, exposing all the flaws in his body. If you don't believe it, do it again. I'll stand here, not dodge or hide. If you want to kill me, try it. The calm posture, the calm and indifferent voice, all of them set off Lucifer's self-confidence. However, in the eyes of outsiders, Lucifer is humiliating the red-haired man. He does not defend, does not dodge, and lets a person the great pirates of the four emperors attacked. No one in this world dared to do such a thing. Even the forbidden pirate rocks did not dare to do such a thing. In the distance, Whitebeard wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with an extremely solemn expression. He looked at Lucifer with his eyes. Hearing Haki told him that Lucifer was not talking big words, he did have such confidence. Outside the restricted battlefield, the Whitebeard pirates, the red-haired pirates and the navy all noticed Lucifer. Many people also heard what Lucifer said. At this moment, hundreds of thousands of people were all shocked by Lucifer. How arrogant is this? It's simply too arrogant. Kill him, Captain Shanks. Kill him and avenge the vice-captain. Damn Lucifer, go to hell. The loudest shouters were undoubtedly the members of the red-haired pirates. Whether it was killing Beckman or humiliating the red-haired ones, Lucifer's various actions were undoubtedly humiliating the red-haired pirates. All the members of the red-haired pirates, no one can tolerate such a thing. The Navy and the Whitebeard pirates are hoping that the red hair will seize the opportunity and kill Lucifer in one fell swoop. You arrogant bastard, just die like this. Damn the devil, let him perish. Only the members of the Netherworld pirates remained silent. No one showed any worry. Instead, they were watching the show. They are the ones who know best how terrifying Lucifer is. The red-haired man was so angry with Lucifer. Trembling, eyes red as if ready to shed blood. Damn you bastard, don't regret it if you die. Great Voyage, Invincibility begins from the word spirit fruit. Author, Drunk in March at Westlake. Chapter 210. Damn you bastard, don't regret it if you die. The red shadow flashed, and the red hair had teleported in front of Lucifer, and the famous sword griffin had already struck Lucifer's neck. Just like Lucifer said, he did not dodge, nor did he use his armed domineering defense. Red he slashed with a knife without encountering any hindrance. The sharp long knife easily tore through Lucifer's flesh and blood and cut off his neck. After the blow, Lucifer's head rose into the sky, and at the same time a column of blood spurted out. Out. Oh! Seeing Lucifer being beheaded with a knife, countless pirate navy roared repeatedly, their joy was beyond words. Died. Finally dead. Arrogant bastard, I made you arrogant. It's too late to regret now. If you dare to accept Captain Shank's attack without any defense, this is what you will end up with. Bastards of the Nether pirates, your captain is dead. Put down your weapons and surrender. The roars echoed on the battlefield, and the roars spread over a dozen miles around. The three generals of the Navy, the seriously injured warring states, and various senior Navy officials also looked at the beheaded Lucifer with blank expressions and disbelief on their faces. Hey, can't you? How did Lucifer die? Impossible. Kizaru couldn't believe it. He knew how terrifying Lucifer was. If he was so easy to kill, why would the Navy fear him like a tiger and mobilize troops like this? Generals Aoji and Fujitora couldn't accept this fact for a while. The red hair was at this moment he was also a little shocked. As the person who cut off Lucifer's head with his own hands, he could not accept the current reality. Is it difficult to kill Lucifer? Of course it is difficult, otherwise there would be no need for so many of them to join forces. Is it easy to kill Lucifer? Of course it was simple, he did it with just a slight swing of the knife. Looking back at Lucifer's headless body, the red hair had a solemn look on his face, and he did not relax his vigilance at all. The same was true for the Whitebeard on the other side, his expression was extremely serious, his expression was even more solemn than before. He had traveled across the sea for decades and had extremely rich combat experience. He knew that Lucifer was not an enemy who could be killed so easily. But he couldn't figure out how Lucifer, whose head had been cut off, could still survive. How to resurrect? Is it possible that he can be reborn after being decapitated? Whitebeard can't believe that such a thing can happen in the world. Even Marco, who claims to be able to heal all wounds and repair all injuries, cannot hurt the entity and be decapitated. Resurrection from the dead. Lucifer, what other methods do you have? The red-haired man stared at Lucifer's headless body and roared wildly. He knew that Lucifer was not dead. His knowledge-colored domineering energy could also sense Lucifer's aura, and the overlord-colored domineering field created by Lucifer also not disappeared. There are various signs that Lucifer is still alive. Found it? Lucifer's voice suddenly sounded. Although it was dull, it was like thunder exploding in everyone's ears. Everyone saw that Lucifer's severed head could actually speak. Lucifer's headless body raised his hand and grabbed it. And grabbed his head in his hands. Just like that, Lucifer lifted his head and looked at the red hair and white beard. Hey hey hey, can't you? General Ching Pheasant looked at Lucifer's actions, and his face was already covered with cold sweat. This is really terrible. The same is true for Kizaru. Cold sweat has flowed all over his body, and there are beads of sweat on his face and neck. Impossible, Lucifer can't still be alive. Why not die? Devil, he is a devil. Demon from hell, immortal. The previously excited pirates and navy all fell into deep despair and panic at this moment. There is nothing more desperate than having hope and then having your hope destroyed. Natural ability, is Lucifer a natural ability user? A vice admiral spoke out his guess. No, Lucifer is a person with the ability to speak the spirit fruit, and is a superman. He does not have the ability to transform into natural elements. A vice admiral of the navy said in denial. That's right, even if he is a natural type, he can't stop the red hair's armed color and overlord color domineering slashes. Lucifer was indeed beheaded. A vice admiral said unwillingly. Although the reality is hard to accept, this is the reality. But why did he not die even after his head was cut off? Can the self-healing ability of the word spirit fruit even repair such an injury? The hundreds of thousands of sailors and the white-bearded and red-haired pirates were all stunned. Lucifer's terrifying ability was about to drive them crazy. Damn Lucifer, is this your power? After the seriously injured Sengoku was rescued by the Navy, he received emergency treatment and barely recovered some strength. Seeing Lucifer's incredible power, he couldn't help but feel despair and his whole body was cold. Is this your plan? The red-haired man noticed the aura of terror and despair permeating the battlefield, looked at Lucifer and asked in a deep voice. As the atmosphere of panic spread, the fighting spirit of the red-haired pirates, the white-beard pirates and the Navy dropped sharply, and their chances of winning became even worse. Coming lower and lower. Yes, this is the deepest despair I give them. Lucifer said, holding up his head. Recover. The plain voice fell, and black mist shrouded the broken part of Lucifer's neck. Soon, a new head grew back. There was not even a trace of scar on the neck, as if it had never been cut off. Then, with a strong force in his hand, Lucifer crushed the severed head in his hand and exploded it into a ball of black mist. How does it feel to crush your own head and explode it? Lucifer just wanted to say, it's very exciting. How about it? Still want to try it? Lucifer opened his hands and smiled calmly, do you believe it? Red hair, even if I stand here motionless and let you attack, you can't hurt a hair on my head. No matter what kind of injury you cause me, I can recover in an instant. My physical strength is endless and I can stay at my absolute peak at all times. From the beginning, you had no chance of winning. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Whitebeard teleported behind Lucifer and hit Lucifer's lower back with a punch. With a bang. Lucifer's body exploded and turned into flesh and blood, scattered in all directions. But next for a second, an indifferent voice sounded in the surrounding void. Recover. As soon as he finished speaking, countless pieces of flesh and blood coagulated automatically, and Lucifer returned to his physical form. Just as Lucifer said, he was unscathed and his breath did not weaken at all. It's not a good habit to attack from behind, Whitebeard. Lucifer looked at Whitebeard and smiled playfully. Lucifer, I really underestimate you. Whitebeard's tone was cold, exuding endless chill. But hidden behind this chill was a deep powerlessness. Faced with such a defiant Lucifer, Whitebeard already felt helpless and desperate. Lucifer smiled lightly, okay, enough fun, it's time to end this boring farce. All things are attracted by heaven. Lucifer grabbed Whitebeard with his big hand and directly pulled Whitebeard towards his palm. At the same time, Lucifer changed his palm into a fist, and a transparent aperture condensed on the fist, which was the power of the earthquake. Whitebeard could not resist the pull of all things. While flying towards Lucifer, he raised his hands and clenched his fists, assuming his most accustomed posture, and also used the earthquake power. Boom! Both fists sprayed against each other, and a terrifying shockwave erupted instantly. With Lucifer and Whitebeard as the center, the atmosphere around the two people, the entire space was shattered. Lucifer suddenly exerted force and moved his fist forward an inch, directly defeating Whitebeard's earthquake punch, and then hit Whitebeard's chest. Click! 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 The atmospheric space was completely shattered, and the shock wave it suddenly erupted and poured out in all directions like a flood. A dozen huge cracks opened in the earth, extending for thousands of meters. Along the way, all the Navy pirates fell into the bottomless abyss. Whitebeard vomited blood, and his chest was sunken, and a big hole was punched out. In the hole, white bones and flesh could be vaguely seen. After flying upside down for hundreds of meters, Baybeard swung Kongyunki and stabbed the knife into the ground, forcing himself to hold himself up to prevent himself from falling, and another mouthful of blood spurted out. After this heavy blow, Baybeard's aura was extremely weak, and his face was pale with almost no blood. Whitebeard was now seriously injured and dying. The reason he was still alive was because of his iron will.